कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे,
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे,
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे,
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे,
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे,
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे,
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे,
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
जय श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग गंधर्विका गिरिधारी जू की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र जगत गुरु शिला भक्ति वल्लभ तीर्थ गोस्वामी महाराज जी की जय। जय जगत गुरु शिला भक्ति वल्लभ तीर्थ गोस्वामी महाराज जी की जय। जय जगत गुरु शिला भक्ति वल्लभ तीर्थ गोस्वामी महाराज जी की जय। जय नित्य लीला प्रविष्टोम विष्णुपाद परमहंस श्री श्रीमद भक्ति दैत माधव गोस्वामी महाराज जी की जय। जय नित्य लीला प्रविष्टोम विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर प्रभुपाद जी की जय। श्री रूपानुग गुरु वर्ग की जय। पंच तत्वात्मकम गौर हरि की जय। राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपी गो गोवर्धन वृंदावन राधा कुंड श्याम कुंडात्मक श्री ब्रज मंडल की जय। तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी की जय। सर्व विघ्न विनाशकारी भक्त वत्सल भगवान श्री नरसिंह देव की जय। प्रहलाद महाराज की जय। नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। परम पूज्य पाठशिला भक्ति रक्षक श्रीधर देव गोस्वामी महाराज जी की जय। परम पूज्य पाठशिला भक्ति प्रमोद पुरी गोस्वामी महाराज जी की जय। परम पूज्य पाठशिला भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज जी की जय। परम पूज्य पाठ भक्ति भूषण भागवत महाराज जी की जय। त्रिदंडी पादगण की जय। जगन्नाथपुरी रथ यात्रा महामहोत्सव की जय। गुंडीचा मंदिर की जय। ग्वालपाड़ा धाम की जय। गोकुल गौशाला की जय। गौ माता की जय। गुरु कथा श्रवण पिपासु वैष्णव वृंद भक्त वृंद की जय। गुरु प्रेमानंदी हरि बोल। गुरु वैष्णव भगवान तिनेर स्मरण है विघ्न विनाशन। अनायासे है निज वांछित पुरन। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति सपदान्तिकम्। इतो नृसिंहा परतो नृसिंहा यतो यतो यामि ततो नृसिंहा बहिर्नरसिंहा हृदये नरसिंहा नरसिंहमादिं शरणं प्रपद्ये। नमस्ते नरसिंहाय प्रह्लादलाददायिने हिरण्यकशिपुरवक्षशिलाटङ्कनखाय वागीशयस्य वदने लक्ष्मीर्यस्य च वक्षसि यस्यास्ते हृदये संवित् तं नरसिंहमहं भजे। श्री नरसिंहा जय नरसिंहा जय जय नरसिंहा। प्रहलादेश जया पद्मामुख पद्मभृंगा। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा। श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। गुरु कथा कीर्तन श्रवण जब से विश्व में कोरोना वायरस आया, हमने जीवन में एक अनोखा परिवर्तन देखा। वो परिवर्तन विश्व के प्रत्येक प्राणी के जीवन में आया। वो परिवर्तन प्रकृति में भी आया, मनुष्यों में भी आया, जीव जंतुओं में भी आया। हर एक व्यक्ति जब से कोरोना वायरस आया है, कोई ना कोई बदलाव अपने जीवन में पा रहा है। हम लोग गुरु कथा श्रवण कीर्तन ऐसा प्रारंभ किए कि गुरु महाराज ने अपनी अहेतु की कृपा हम पे बरसा दी और धीरे धीरे हम लोग गुरु कथा में एकदम खो गए। बाद में जैसे लॉकडाउन खुला तो हमें भी लगा कि हम अब नॉर्मल हो जाएंगे, लेकिन ये सबसे बड़ी हमारी गलती थी, क्योंकि लॉकडाउन के खुलने के बाद हर रोज नंबर बढ़ता जा रहा है और अब कहते हैं अगले 40 दिनों में भारत में एकदम 5 गुना नंबर बढ़ जाएगा। तो बड़ी भयावह स्थिति होती जा रही है। कोरोना पॉजिटिव के केस बढ़ते जा रहे हैं, संख्या बढ़ती जा रही है, कोई उपाय नजर नहीं आ रहा। अमेरिका, यूरोप, साउथ अमेरिका के देशों का तो और भी बुरा हाल है। तो अब दोबारा हमें लग रहा है कि ये गुरु कथा ही हमें बचा सकती है, हमारी रक्षा कर सकती है। जीवन के जो अनमोल क्षण हमें मिले हैं, ये गुरु कथा के श्रवण और चिंतन में बीत जाएं तो अच्छा है। अभी गुरु कथा में 2 बातें हैं। एक है गुरु जी के जीवन की आत्मकथा और दूसरा है गुरु जी की वाणी, गुरु जी की उपदेश वाणी। ये दोनों लेकर गुरु कथा है। तो हमने परम गुरु महाराज जी के जीवन चरित्र को श्रवण किया। उसमें कितनी जगह पे हमें हमारे गुरु महाराज जी के प्रसंग दिखे। गुरु जी ने अपने बारे में भी लिखा, जहां जहां पे प्रासंगिक था। तो गुरु जी की टीचिंग्स, परम गुरु जी की टीचिंग्स और उनकी जीवन कथा, ये दोनों मिला के गुरु कथा है। तो आज हम परम गुरु महाराज जी का एक इंग्लिश का लेक्चर याद कर रहे हैं। ये उनकी ओरिजिनल वर्ड्स हैं, बड़ी शक्तिशाली ओजस्वी आमनाय वाणी है। तो यहाँ पे वर्ल्ड रिलीजन कॉन्फ्रेंस हुई कलकत्ता में और 25 अक्टूबर शुक्रवार को शिवपुर बोटेनिकल गार्डन में एकत्रित होकर सब प्रतिनिधियों ने एक साथ मिलकर विश्व में शांति स्थापन के लिए प्रार्थना की। उस कॉन्फ्रेंस में परम गुरु महाराज जी गए और उनके साथ श्रीला भक्ति प्रमोद पुरी गोस्वामी महाराज और हमारे गुरु महाराज जगत गुरु श्रीला भक्ति वल्लभ तीर्थ गोस्वामी महाराज भी उपस्थित थे। तो बिरला एकेडमी ऑफ आर्ट एंड कल्चर में परम गुरु जी ने जो इंग्लिश में लेक्चर दिया, हम उसे याद करते हैं। I heartily welcome the organizer of this symposium, in their attempt to explore an impartial and liberal approach to different views of religious faiths in this world, and to find out how world fellowship of different religions or a unity of hearts amongst human beings can be promoted. Now, this is the lecture given by our Param Guru Deva, His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Dait Madhav Goswami Maharaj in Calcutta in World Religious Conference. So, in this lecture, Param Guru Maharaj is saying there are two ways of approach. Number one, the sincere, real, and practical approach having relation to actual state of conditions and nature of human beings, and an idealistic approach having little or no practical value. So there are two approaches. One is practical approach, and second, theoretical or idealistic approach having no practical value, merely indulging in luxury of high sounding words. So, approach to how unity of hearts among human beings can be promoted. Unity of hearts among humans. If we sincerely want to obtain the real abiding effect, we should face facts boldly. We should face facts boldly. The fact is that there exists no 100% identity amongst individuals. There exists no 100% identity amongst individuals, as they are conscious units having independence of thinking, feeling, and willing. Individuals, as a result of their different actions, achieve separate environments and paraphernalia. Every individual has his peculiar nature distinct from any other. So obviously, individuals will vary in their opinions and tastes, and this is quite natural. It is an unnatural thing to attempt forcibly to engage individuals into one fold, one faith, or one particular ideology. Accordingly, cultivation of tolerance of others' views is essential for world peace and unity. Indian sponsors of religion appear to have got that insight and tolerance. Hence, many independent views have cropped up in India and have flourished simultaneously. Want of tolerance makes us sectarian, and that spirit motivates us for forcible conversion of others, which brings turmoil and unrest in world. Now, this is very important. Want of tolerance makes us sectarian. When we become sectarian, we want to forcibly convert others, and this brings unrest in the world. Religion should give equal scope to all the individuals for their respective spiritual development according to their attributes. Indian saints have classified the nature of human beings in three broad groups. So, humans are classified in three broad groups: Sattvic, Rajasic, and Tamasic. Sattvic people are wise, sincere, generous, and non-violent. As such, they have an altruistic mentality and render disinterested service. Rajasic people are egoists. However, they are active and do goods to others with motive of getting a return of their actions for self-aggrandizement. They won't tolerate harm to themselves. They have got spirit of taking revenge. Tamasic people are indolent, out and out egoist, and of violent temperament. Tamasic people are indiscriminate in their pursuit of enjoyment. They completely disregard the interest of others and will do anything to fulfill their selfish desires. So, Sattvic, Rajasic, and Tamasic people vary in their tastes, habits, and nature. Three forms of teaching religion have been prescribed for the three groups according to their eligibility, giving them scope for gradual elevation. These three modes of teaching are related to apparent self, as such changeable. There are still higher and higher thoughts of religious existence which transcend those three qualities and relate to the eternal natural function of the real self. If we want quality, we must sacrifice quality. So, this is very important. If we want quantity, we must sacrifice quality. And if we want quality, we shall have to sacrifice quantity. Both cannot be achieved at one time. However, the primary point to be noted here is that there should be tolerance among sponsors of different religious views and respect for others' views, as well as equal scope should be given to all for their spiritual upliftment from their respective status. Another point to be noted here is that we should have the patience to understand the underlying spirit of different religious faiths and not merely indulge in disputes in regard to ritualistic aspects of religions, which will certainly vary in different parts of the world in accordance with the change of climatic conditions and environment. So, this is our Param Guru Dev's lecture on how to bring unity amongst human beings. Nowadays, we find lack of discipline rampant in every sphere of human life: political, social, economical, and even educational. Student unrest, youth unrest is one of the most serious problems of the day. It is extremely difficult to proceed with the constructive work when people are prone to indiscipline. To fight against disruptive tendencies and indiscipline, a radical treatment of the minds of people is required. Here we feel the necessity of moral and spiritual values in human life. There are two ways of treating diseases: pathological and symptomatic. In pathological treatment, root cause of the disease is ascertained first and then the remedy is prescribed. The process of symptomatic treatment may be easier, but it does not have a lasting effect. It may give temporary relief, while treatment through the pathological process brings about permanent relief. To determine the root cause of unrest, we ought first to determine the meaning of self. I strongly believe that ignorance of our real self is the root cause of unrest, discord, and anxiety. The real self is not the physical tabernacle, it is something other than the gross and subtle bodies. We consider the body to be the person as long as we observe consciousness in it. The moment the body is bereft of consciousness, it loses its personality. I am I when conscious entity, that is, entity that thinks, feels, and wills, is present in me. I am not I when it is absent in me. That conscious entity is everything. Hence, the entity whose presence and absence makes me and not me, respectively, must be the person. The conscious entity, soul, is designated as Atma in Indian scriptures. Atma is indestructible, it has no origin and no end. If we look deep into the matter, we can trace our existence with the absolute conscious principle, whom we call Godhead, the fountain source of innumerable conscious units. Godhead is termed Sat Chit Anand. Godhead is termed Sat Chit Ananda. That is, He is all existence, all knowledge, and all bliss. Individuals are points of rays emanating from Him, and as such, one of His eternal coexistence potencies. Individuals cannot live independently. They are all interconnected and coexisting through retaining their own individual characteristics. It has already been stated that differences in the individuals are unavoidable as they are conscious units. Now, the problem is to find a common ground and interest for the solution of these differences. A sense of common interest can be fostered among individuals if they know that they are interconnected, are parts of one organic system, and are the sons and daughters of one Father. Here is the task of all religions to teach people that all beings of the world are closely interrelated. Although steadfastness or firm belief in God, nishtha, according to some particular faith and eligibility of the individual, is congenial for healthy spiritual growth of every individual. Religious bigotry which begets enmity is condemnable. Religious bigotry which begets enmity is condemnable as it is against the real interest of the individual and society. Real religion teaches love for one another. Real religion teaches love for one another. Lord Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu propagated the cult of all embracing divine love, which brings universal brotherhood on a transcendental plane. The cult of all embracing divine love, universal brotherhood on a transcendental plane. According to him, forgetfulness of our eternal relation with the Supreme Godhead, Sri Krishna, is the root cause of all afflictions. Sri Krishna is God of all gods, Supreme Person having all existence, all knowledge, and all bliss. Beginningless, yet the beginning of all, the prime cause of all causes. The word Krishna means one who attracts all and pleases all by his wonderful, enchanting beauty, majesty, munificence, and supremacy, and this denotes the highest conception of Godhead with all perfections. He is the object of all love, so remembrance of Shri Krishna or God is the divine panacea of all evils. The easiest and most effective way of remembering God is chanting of the holy name, which can be practiced by all, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, age, health, economic, social, and educational status at any place or time. Now, Mahaprabhu recommended chanting of holy name. Chanting of holy name, which can be practiced by all. Chanting can be practiced by all, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, age, health, economic, social, and educational status at any place or time. In the Vedic cult, we find the theory of cycle of time within the period of infinite time, which has got four stages according with the predominance of religiousness and irreligiousness. The four ages are designated as Satya, Treta, Dwapar, and Kali. The four ages in Satya Yuga, the first age of cycle of time, wisdom predominated in men, and as such, they were aware of the painful, transitory nature of the world and thereby were not fascinated by it. Concentration without interruption was possible, and meditation, dhyan, was prescribed as common religion in Satyayuga, suitable for all. But in Treta Yuga, next spiritual degraded age of cycle of time, when the spirit of activity predominated and people were attached to worldly objects, sacrifice, yajna, that is, offering the things of attachment to the Lord, was prescribed as the common religion to divert the attention of the people from material objects of attachment and turn their minds towards Him. In Dwapar Yuga, next and more degraded age, when people were addicted to worldly objects and sensualism, archana or worship of deities was prescribed in Dwapar Yuga. The worship of deities as the common religion for gradual attainment of concentration of mind by directing all the senses and objects of attachment to his service. In the present Kali Yuga, the last and spiritually most degraded age of the cycle of time, when people are firmly attached to worldly objects, are too much given to sensualism, and always diseased, they are incapable of performing dhyanam, meditation, yajna, sacrifice, archan, worship of deities, rightly, and as such, chanting of the holy name of God is prescribed for them. So in this Kali Yuga, dhyan, yajna, archan are not prescribed, only chanting of holy name of God is prescribed for the present age. Today, the world is taking tremendous scientific strides. Modern scientists are performing wonders. But in spite of their marvelous accomplishments, and despite their pride in 20th century civilization, it is puzzling to see that science is so much engaged in inventing destructive weapons like atom bomb, thereby imperiling the whole human race. Any moment there may be a conflagration and the whole world may perish. Saints are deeply concerned as to how to avert such a calamity. Mere material scientific accomplishments are unable to save the world from such a danger. Of course, scientific inventions or achievements as such are not condemnable. Everything depends on the proper use of things. Science may be used for the good of humanity and also may be misused for the destruction of human civilization. It is imperative to consider the problem and diagnose the disease of conflicts and mutual distrust amongst nations and individuals. So long as nations and individuals have separate centers of interest, tension is inevitable. Nobody can avoid it. This world is limited. When there are many claimants for one limited object, disputes amongst claimants are unavoidable. It is because of this that Indian saints differ from the leaders of the West, from the westernized leaders of our country in their manner of tackling the problem of peace. In fact, genuine saints of the world are wise enough to see the fundamental defect in the attempt of so-called best brains to achieve world peace. They assert with great emphasis that a practical solution of the problem is not possible so long as individuals do not change their present craving for sensuous enjoyment and greediness for mundane wealth and direct their attention towards the unlimited, the infinite, the absolute. The heads of different religious groups should clearly and emphatically point out and teach their followers the painful and perishable character of worldly objects and the futility of sensuous enjoyment. They should create interest in man for worship of God, which brings about real happiness. Unless and until the eternal relationship of people is known to them, they realize that they cannot exist and be happy without the Godhead, who is all bliss. The natural inclination of people towards the Godhead and diversion of their attention from the material aspects of life cannot be effected. As long as people have the conviction that their only interest lies in material prosperity and sensuous enjoyment, discord cannot be avoided. Mere belief in the existence of God will be of great benefit to humanity. By restraining people from committing sins and leading them to do goods to others, they will have fear of punishment for bad deeds and encouragement to seek rewards for good deeds. Want of patience and tolerance originates from lust. Any activity which leads to satisfaction of one's own gross and subtle senses is termed lust. Hindrance to the fulfillment of lust breeds anger, and that brings conflict and malice amongst individuals and nations. So long as people do not understand that they are inseparably connected, and until the activities of people are God centered, mere sentimentalism or fictitious ideas will not be able to foster real love amongst individuals. If we know that infliction of harm to other animate beings is detrimental to our own interest and will bring harm in return, we will not be encouraged to harm any individual, not even any sentient being of the world. If we can love absolute whole, I mean the Godhead, we cannot have the impetus to endure any of his parts. So according to me, or the teachings of Lord Garanga, divine love is the best solution of all problems of the world. Now this is our Param Gurudev, His Divine Grace, Bhakti Dait Madhava Goswami Maharaj, speaking on the occasion of World Religious Conference in Calcutta about 50 years back. In this conference, the topic was how to bring unity amongst human beings in the world. So Param Guru Maharaj established the background and then presented the view of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu suggested for bringing unity among human beings. Very beautifully, very simply, and very crystally, Param Guruji presented his views, and the essence of all was, in the present age, we have to understand the best way to bring unity among humans is chanting of holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This chanting of holy name is recommended by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the solution of all problems. So, we should have firm faith, we should have firm belief, we should have nishtha on the words of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that love among humans can be established only if all are engaged in the chanting. That's the essence. Now, to understand this essence, one may take a lot of time to understand this point, but that is the essence. Chanting holy name will bring unity amongst human beings. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu bhaivacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah.